Let me end by imploring you to think about all of this in terms of a solution. And I'm going to offer you one as a conclusion. Imagine the logic of what I've been saying to you coming to this idea. If democracy was something we did as a human race, at a certain point we said to the kings and the queens and the czars and the emperors, no more. We're either getting rid of you, figuratively, literally sometimes, or we'll let you be as a figurehead, the British solution, where, the most important thing about you is your outfit, that sort of thing, We got rid of them. The kings and queens were not nice about it. They threatened. There has to be a leader. There has to be someone in charge. There has to be someone who intercedes with God, if you were in the religious frame of mind. But there has to be someone, the buck has to stop someone. You couldn't possibly have a society that didn't have a king. You got rid of the kings, guess what? All the chaos that they threatened didn't happen. Well, now let me do Marx for you. Suppose in every enterprise, every factory, every office, every store, it was reorganized. It was made, think of it, a democratic institution. Everybody in the store, everybody in the factory, one person, one vote. We decide what to produce, how to produce, where to produce, and what to do with the product we all help to produce. We do it democratically. Wow! Every one of the problems of capitalism, the uneven development, the inequality, it's all about the minority who controls taking care of themselves, and the result we see. Now there aren't those people anymore. We've changed the structure. There is no king. You don't need him in a factory any more than you needed him in the neighborhood, do you? And why would you ever assume otherwise? Let's play with it a minute as my conclusion. Play with it. Suppose the question was to close the factory in Cincinnati and move to China. The capitalist board of directors said, wow, we can pay the Chinese way less than we pay Americans. True enough. And we'll make a lot more profit by moving to Shanghai, which, by the way, thousands of companies did. But now suppose the workers democratically voted. You think they'd vote the disappearance of their jobs? Would never happen. You want to solve the problem of runaway shops? I just did. Let me give you another example. How do you decide the wages people get? Suppose you had a democratic decision. You think you'd give one guy, I don't know, say Jeffrey Bezos, billions, and everybody else can't pay for their kid to go to college? Never happened. Not in a democratic decision. You might pay some people more or less, depending on the work they did or the education they had. But you're not going to do what we do in this country, would you? Here's another example. A new technology that fouls the air. If you're a rich corporate executive, you live far away in a gated community and you have machines in your basement that clean your air. You don't care. Of course you'll use it because it's more profitable. Now the workers instead, they have to live there. So does their husband and their wife and their children and their neighbor. They're going to do it. You want to deal with the environmental problems? Here's a way. And now here comes the best one. The profit at the end of the year. How does that get decided? I'll tell you by telling you about a Christmas story. You've all been there at the end of the year. It's Christmas party time. And everybody who works at this workplace gathers. And there's the boss, shaky legs, drunk too much, said the wrong thing, particularly to the women. You know, the usual. We all take that for granted. Under the mistletoe. Plastic mistletoe. Because this is a cheap company. And he makes a speech. So I want to thank you, slurring his speech, I won't do that, thanking you all for the work you did this year that helped to make this a successful year. And then you all go home, and he and the board of directors decides what to do. He just congratulated you for helping to produce. Now, in a democratic way, it's a democratic decision what is done with what we've all helped to produce. Yeah, such an enterprise might make mistakes, but we all own the mistake, and we'll fix it together.